Jen, I want to give you an opportunity to respond because the president, and to be fair, President Obama did a similar foreign trip and did talk about restoring the United States leadership in the world after the Iraq War in the previous administration. President Trump also doing a similar type thing.
I think that's not a surprise from President Trump. He's not a fan of President Obama or the accomplishments of the last administration.
Or he's not a fan of President Bush either. Or
President Bush. Most of his predecessors, I think it's fair to say. If you look at this trip, I think most of us agree that China was the most important stop. And I don't think that the impression left in China is that America is strong and President Trump is strong. He didn't bring up a lot of the issues that have been traditional irritants in the relationship, like market access, human rights, sure, but a lot of economic issues that are important to the American public and to the American worker. And on North Korea, the Chinese papers now are talking about how this was a win for President Xi because he didn't push him and there hasn't been a change on the ground. So he can certainly criticize past presidents. That's fine. I'm sure they're not losing sleep over it. But North Korea is a pressing issue right now. China was an opportunity to make progress, and I don't think there's evidence that progress was made.
But just to be fair, Jen, I don't think you'd expect that the discussions, private discussions held on North Korea, what the Chinese are willing to do and not do, is going to be blasted out on the Chinese media or on the front page of the Washington Post. I think that's all sub rosa. Those are things that we'll wait and see how they play out. I think it's too early to say that I think it's unfair to say that they failed in dealing with North Korea at this point.
Well, I think, David, though, we've been hearing that for quite some time. And there's a short window for a diplomatic opportunity, and it's not clear. We'll see if that changes in a few weeks. But we've been hearing that for some time.
The Obama administration had 8 years to deal with the North Koreans. That's why we are where we are.
Well, Trump is president now. He has been for almost a year. This has escalated and gotten worse since then. It's the biggest issue we're facing.
I don't think it's gotten worse. I think it's gotten markedly better. I think the president's has put a great deal of pressure. Has put a great deal of focus on this. Unlike his predecessors, dating back Republicans and Democrats, this president doesn't have a luxury of time. This president does not have that. This president was forced to deal with it, unlike his predecessors who were able to just kick the can down the road, talk about sanctions and things that haven't worked. This president doesn't have that luxury.
Well, I don't think North Korea is a partisan issue. I think it's something everybody is concerned about, and everybody is looking to President Trump. What you're seeing from world leaders is a concern that he is rushing to war and being erratic in his behavior, and not an opportunity for diplomacy. This was an opportunity to do that on the trip.
There is concern, Kristen. In some countries,